Hello everyone and welcome back to Ejima. I haven't sat down and made a video like this in so long and it just feels so great. I'm gonna head out in a few and I just said let me film this video. It's been on my to-do list for months, okay? And this video is what I don't like about living in Charlotte, North Carolina. So for those of you that are not new to the channel and you're following me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I moved to Charlotte August of 2020, so about 4 years ago. And just in the past year, things have just been feeling so different for me. I'm not going to lie. I just have felt a bit blah, right? And I don't want to blame everything on Charlotte. I don't think that's really fair. I don't think you can blame everything on just a city, right? Because end of the day, if you're going through certain things or you can feel that anyway. But I do feel a bit bored in Charlotte. And if anyone that knows me closely knows that I don't really get bored. I don't. I'm very calm, a bit conservative, very chill. But I did have a lot of my friends move in the past, I would say year. Not a lot, but a significant amount because I don't really keep that many friends. And it's just been kind of like, Charlotte, the vibe has just been different. I really don't feel pressed to really go out and do things and really get out of my comfort zone like I used to. A lot of my spots I liked have closed down. Just a lot of things have happened overall. So in this video, I'm just gonna talk about, let's say 5 main things I don't really care about Charlotte. So the number one thing I would say is that I still struggle to find, and I've been saying this in many videos, a sophisticated, professional vibe from my age group. I really struggle to find that here in Charlotte. I'm open to going to different places. It doesn't necessarily have to be people of one demographic, but I do feel as if here, just finding that social scene that's not too rowdy, not aggressive, not, as people say, probably ghetto, but at the same time wanting it to be diverse. I struggle with finding that in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I struggle personally with finding that, right? I also think maybe a second point could just be like familiarity sometimes breeds contempt, because I've been here for a while and it's kind of, there's a lot of things that open up, a lot of things that come in, but I'm not a big foodie, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a picky eater. So those things don't interest me, and the food here is not that great in general. But maybe I'm just kind of used to things, so I'm not really that impressed. That might be part of it. I think another reason, I'll be saying number 3 if I really want to be honest, is that the culture that I'm from is not a lot of the Nigerian-American. The Nigerian scene here is a lot of older married people. It's not a lot of young, like Nigerian professionals, or there's not a space for them, right? Besides a few clubs here that exist, there's nowhere that really people can congregate and meet each other. I believe that is, if I want to really be honest, that's something that other cities like Dallas, a lot of people move to Houston, people go to Atlanta, people go to DC. You know, for people that want to be around a lot of Nigerians, Charlotte just doesn't have that. You know, and it's not to say that you can't be around other people, but the reality is that most people tend to stick around people who are like them. That's just the truth. Whether we want to argue about it or not, whether we want to complain about it or not, it's not going to change things. That's reality. So Charlotte's Nigerian scene is very disjointed. It's very strange. It's very odd. I feel like there's not really united. I'm not saying the young people are not here, but I meet so many young Nigerians who just don't hang out with Nigerians, who don't associate with other Nigerians. Maybe you'll see them at Lost and Found somewhere in Uptown. I don't know. Maybe you'll see them on South End. Maybe you'll see them in Uptown somewhere on a rooftop. But there's not a Nigerian community here for young people. Like there's not a close-knit Nigerian community, and I think that's something that Charlotte really is missing. And all my friends that moved are Nigerian, so I definitely think that's a part of it. Another thing I don't like about living in Charlotte, North Carolina, is that it's been getting colder, in my opinion, to be honest. So let me tell y'all, my heat bill for 1 month when I was away for 10 days was $153. Highest bill I've ever had, and my heat at the max stays at 74. And I started going down to 72, you know, trying to be economical. My bill was 153, the next bill was like 120, and this is to heat up an apartment. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's been getting really cold, at least for me. I don't like the cold. So for people that think North Carolina is so warm all year round. It's good. It has 4 seasons, but the winter does get cold. I won't even lie. Also, I might just be dramatic because I don't like the cold at all. Despite moving from New Jersey, I don't like the cold. Another thing I don't like about living in Charlotte, North Carolina is, I've said this before in previous videos, I really feel as if the housing costs, renting and all that doesn't match up to the pay. Even as someone in the healthcare field with a decent job, I still feel like rent is too expensive over here to be in a reasonable area. Yeah, granted, you can get affordable rent anywhere, but the key is when you want to live in an environment that is safe for the most part. Things happen everywhere, but safe for the most part. And when you just look at the rent compared to the cost of living, in my opinion, it doesn't add up adequately. I do think that Charlotte is a bit expensive, even though you're going to get more for your money that you get in other major cities. I do feel like what they're trying to charge for the value, to me, is not there. Recently, rent prices have been going down because there has been an influx of apartments being built. So I did notice that trend, and I really think that's something great. But things are getting expensive, I won't even lie. What is another thing I don't like about Charlotte? Yeah, I'm supposed to be going to the beach in the next few weeks, finally. I know I've been saying this forever. Beach is like close to the beach, 3.5, 4 hours away. It's not terrible, but I know that's on my part. I've just been being lazy, but I really, really want to go to the beach. Airport is something I've talked about before, but apparently Frontier has started flying from CLT Airport. So I have noticed some reasonable fares even for direct flights from Charlotte to other major cities like Houston, Dallas. I'm like, okay, that's good. So hopefully that will help lower the cost of other airlines if they have an airline that's competing with them. And it's really, Frontier has been really affordable what I see. Some of the flights make you stop, but I noticed later in the year, I believe the flights come out in April, I've noticed more direct flights. That's another thing I don't like about living in Charlotte. I just feel like it's a bit hard to meet people, and I do think it might just be your age. When you get to a certain point in life, people already have their social groups, people are already close-knit, people already know each other, people are a bit cliquish. I find it a bit hard to meet people, even though I would say I'm pretty friendly, I'm pretty open. I've met subscribers. I'm not someone that I feel, despite being tall, I don't feel like as if I'm not approachable. But meeting people here, and I've heard this from other people, I do think that it can be a bit challenging, but again, that might just be something that everyone in a new city probably experiences, because making friendships as an adult is a bit harder. You don't really have something that connects you, like a lot of people made friends in college because they went to college together. They make friends at a job. So now you have to also be more intentional and go out of your way more, because you have to go out your way to meet these people, see these people. A great way is like maybe if you go to church and you have like friends that go to church, okay, at least you know you're gonna see them every Sunday. But outside of that, especially if you're working remote, which I've done for a large portion of my time in Charlotte, if you're working remote, that also is probably a part of the challenge, right? Where you're gonna meet people, you work remote, then on the weekends, I'm telling you, I don't really care for going out like that. And then I go to church on Sunday. I'm not gonna meet people. I'm going out once a week, and the church I started going to, I found a church I really like. It's American. So I noticed one thing about American churches, especially because it's a big church, it's sort of like you come to church and you leave. So I started hosting a group this semester with 2 co-hosts. That's been fun. And I realized, I have to make an effort. I can't just complain. I think that's one thing a lot of people, I don't want you guys to think I'm doing this in this video. I'm telling you things I don't like, but I also understand that I have to be part of the solution. And no matter where I go, if I don't make these changes, I'm still going to have these same issues. So I think what makes moving for a lot of people a better experience, if you move somewhere where you already know a lot of people. You already have a social network, you already have a few friends, some family. I definitely think that's going to make your experience better, even if it's not the best, even if it's not the most ideal city. Because to me, it's 50-50. I think it's the people, and I also think it's the city, because Charlotte's not terrible. There's things to do. But if you have a group of people to do those things with, it makes it more like, okay, even if it's not the greatest vibe you care about, okay, all 4 of y'all want to go here on Saturday? Okay, let's all go out and hang out. Like, you're not necessarily that pressed about meeting people. You're not pressed about the vibe because you're going there with 4 of your 5 friends to catch up on your week. Do you get what I'm saying? Versus going out like with the intention of, I need to meet people. Now, I'm not even talking about romantic relationships, but I'm literally talking about platonic relationships. So I definitely try and hold myself accountable, because I know when I first moved here, I was having the same feeling. I'm gonna link the video, I cannot believe it. I remember in that video talking about, oh, I'm gonna move to Dallas, and literally within like a couple of months, my social life changed. Like I met one of my closest friends who actually has just moved to Dallas. I met her, and I met so many people through her. I remember like literally a week or two before I filmed that video, I was like, oh, I don't think Charlotte is it. And then after that year, 2022, I had so much fun. So again, I really think Charlotte has a lot of potential, but what I think a lot of people I meet, even my neighbor, he's an older Indian man. He left a couple months ago. He's telling me, yeah, Charlotte's too slow for me. I got to get out of here. So it's not like it's just one demographic I hear complaining. I hear a lot of people complaining that just Charlotte is very small. That's another thing I would say. Charlotte is very small. It's not necessarily something I don't like about it, but for someone that wants a lot of options, a lot of different vibes, most likely you're gonna get most likely the more venues you have, the more things you're gonna find that you relate with, right? But Charlotte is very, very small. It seems like once you go to a couple things, like you've been there, you've done that, everything seems kind of similar. Like things are cute and nice, but it's like, what is the vibe? It's not about cute and nice. It just being aesthetically nice, which I really, really like, but it's also the vibe. I really like the new place that opened up in Uptown called Spice. I like their vibe. I like their vibe, and they play Afro beats, so that's something I would like to go to more often. Yeah, I think it's me too. I think maybe just as you get older, you're just not as pressed to I don't want to put age in it because I'm not old, right? Like come on, look at me. Like I'm still cute, I'm still young, but you just kind of feel like I've been there, done that. Like, what is new under the sun? Like, what are you going to show me that I haven't seen? What am I going to do that I haven't done? Granted, there's so much. I tell you this, as much as I'm sitting here saying this, there's so much in Charlotte I have not done. I went to Puttery last week for the first time with our church group. Had so much fun. Yeah, I need to work on my miniature golf skills. But anyway, to round up this video, I don't want it to be too long. My camera's acting up anyways. Should you move to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2024? I mean, I don't see why not. You just have to know what you're looking for. We have to keep in mind, everyone is looking for different things. Nowhere is perfect, we say that at the same time. But my twin sister, if y'all know, she lives in Houston, Texas. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you Houston and Charlotte is the same. It's not. Every weekend she has a lot to do, and I feel like the things she has to do are more of the vibe that I would probably want. Granted, I'm not really into nightlife like that. So that's something to keep in mind too. But she can just go to regular restaurants and hear Afrobeats. She doesn't have to go to an African club to hear Afrobeats. She doesn't have to go to, she could just go to regular places, regular venues, and, meet people, more networking events. Shout out to Black Health Connect that's coming to Charlotte next Friday. That's something different. I just feel like overall Charlotte is a bit slow, and I don't want to offend anyone if anyone is from Charlotte, because I live here and I don't hate it. If I hated it, I wouldn't be here anymore. I don't feel so strong like other people. I'm like, I need to get out of here. I don't like the city. The city isn't for me. I don't feel like that. But again, you got to think about your personality. I'm more calm or more chilled. I'm reserved. I would honestly even call myself a low-key homebody. Even though people wouldn't believe me, but I always tell people I'm just down. You can call me and I'm like, nah, I'm bored. Let's go to this. I'm going to get ready and go. Always tell myself right now, this is the time to live your life. You don't have any little children. Saying, oh, mommy, you can't leave the house. And I look at some women who are older than me with kids that still go out way more than me. So again, at the end of the day, it comes to your person. It comes down to your personality. How much you like to go out, what you're looking for, the type of things you like to do, the type of vibe you want. Let's be real, the culture you're looking for. I think a lot of people don't want to put that into consideration. It's huge. If you go to certain places, Charlotte, North Carolina, if you want to have a vibrant, young, African scene, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not here. I've been here almost for, it's not here. Yeah, there was a point I feel like in 2022 it was like a little bit of there. It was like coming up, but it's not really here, right? So would I leave Charlotte? I'm not saying I never would, but the thought of moving right now, I haven't even moved apartments. Talk about moving to another city. Like the thought of moving, I'd have to really, really get to the point of like, yeah, I can't take it here. Like I'm done. Like I really, really can't do it. And you can never say never. But I do think Charlotte has a lot of potential, but I just think that it's slow. It's a little bit more family oriented. A lot of people are moving out. That's another thing. I read an article about why there's a lot of more available apartments now. People are moving out. I think Charlotte is more of a city that people pass through. If I want to be honest with you, I believe it's a city that a lot of young professional millennials, they'll stop here first before they end up where they're finally going to really stay and set up their life. I feel like Charlotte, North Carolina is one of those cities. People pass through, spend 3-4 years here, then they go to where they really, really want to be. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a phase. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back to y'all in a couple of months, like, oh my God, I love Charlotte again. I don't hate it, but it's